You guys never get to hear the car on a cold start, right? Like every time the car is usually started and it's everything else. So I think it's nice to like let you guys hear it now because like the car's been sitting for hours or whatever. So I want y'all to hear how loud this car is, because for anybody that has never understood how a downpipe works or how a catless downpipe works and how loud these cars can get, like just listen to my car. Obviously, like I said, the GLI sitting, we're still rocking the stock wheels for right now up until I get my wheels fixed. So we're gonna just start the car and I want you guys to hear how loud this car is. Forgive the mess, the car is looking messy, but it is what it is. It's a daily driven car. So we gonna, shows you the time. My time is off. I like it 10 minutes early or 10 minutes fast. So ready? 1, 2.
It's on your smartphone or you can
like that's loud. That's loud. Now luckily for me, the cold start doesn't I don't know how to explain it. It just doesn't last long. So like how loud it is right now, like if you wait like 3 to 5 minutes, like it dies out. So I'm gonna see if I can catch that before I go to the next clip. So just like bear with me for a second. I'm gonna get myself ready, actually ain't nothing to get ready because like all of my stuff is set up already. Like see, it just died out. So I guess in this case it only takes a minute because I'm watching the duration. Sorry about that, y'all. One of my alarms went off to tell me to leave for work. But if you like I was saying in the clip, like I just recorded like a two minutes from me walking out the house to like right now, and then like at a minute I started the car, or I don't even know if it was a minute, but like the clip I just recorded was only like 2 minutes. So you see, it doesn't take long for it to quiet back down. So that's good. That's a good thing. So anyway, like I said, I just today's Wednesday. So Island Night. I hope all of y'all are coming. I gotta make a post to remind you guys about it. Well, not even remind you, but just to keep promoting it. I'm on my way to the gas station right now. I'm gonna get some gas, and after I get gas, I'm gonna head to work. And like I said, I want to make this like a mixed match video because I want to show you guys, like, I can't show you guys my job, and what I mean by that is I can't shout out my job because I don't know how they're gonna feel about it. I don't want no problems with them. They're already doing some kind of foolishness, and I don't want any more problems. So what I can do is I can, one, tell you that I'm a Volkswagen and Audi tech. I work at a dual branded store, which means we have both Volkswagen and Audi service centers on the premises. And I can show y'all like clips of what I do during the day. And I also want to give you guys tips, advice, and heads up about being a dealership mechanic and being a flat rate mechanic. Those are two important things for all my friends, subscribers, or anyone that is looking into becoming a mechanic and working at the dealership. These are things that you might want to know. And I've been thinking about this video for a long time. Like, hey, I want to tell you guys what it is to be a dealer mechanic and be a flat rate mechanic. Like, I've been a dealer mechanic since I think I was about 18 years old. Because at first I was interning at different dealerships, and then I finally got like my full-time job at a Volkswagen dealer, like while I was in high school. My first like real dealership job, like they were paying me, not like it wasn't an internship. I was getting paid. I worked there during the summer. I went to college. I still worked there, like all of that stuff. And I didn't realize what a difference it is being just a regular one. I didn't realize what the difference was between being like a private shop and local shop and mom and pop shop, or even backyard mechanic, to now working in the dealer. And then I realized that there's another step, because when you first come into the dealer as a youngster or as a newbie or whatever you want to call it, you're hourly. When you get switched to flat rate now, it's a whole different ball game. So I want to give you advice to all my peoples that first want to be mechanics. Then I want to give advice to all my people that want to be dealership mechanics. And then I want to give advice to my people that are going from hourly to flat rate, because them's is levels. Them's is levels, and they're crazy. It's crazy. So let me go get this gas, and we're gonna talk up. And we're gonna talk a little bit. Just got the gas. I'm gonna try and get some video in. I'm gonna get some video in, man. Like I don't got no reason like to keep stopping my camera and stuff. And I got like this long drive to work. So, and yes, I do mean like I have a long drive to work. Like I'm not like most people. I don't even work near my house, anywhere near my house. I don't even work within the borough of my house or in the region of my house. Like I'm towns and counties away from my house where I work right now, which is probably a bad idea. But yeah, to you guys. Oh, hold up. I'm gonna catch this side. Catch this side real quick. Nope, I caught the wrong side. Sorry about that for YouTube fam. As always, I like to shout out certain people. So before I get any further, I want to shout out a new channel that I've been watching as of, I want to say, the last couple of months, and a channel that has kind of inspired me to really start, well, not even inspired me, because I've been inspired to start YouTube, but a channel that's giving me the push to start my YouTube channel, like when I did. So as you guys saw, like I did the first, I did the intro, not the intro video, I did the welcome video, like, hey, introducing, Island AutoWorks. I did the goal video. I've been doing a late night vlog. All these videos, right? And you know what pushed me to start it, like when I did, was I was watching this guy. His name is Mike. He's out in Cali. Yo, that dude is really cool. The brother's nice. And I don't know, like something about, I don't know. I'm sure that there are, but I don't see many brothers that look like me recording content. Like you see a lot of, and this ain't, I'm not trying to be racist. I ain't trying to be anything, but I'm just gonna keep it 100, right? Like we're gonna keep it 100. I don't see many black people, and I don't see many black people that have an interest in cars on YouTube really doing the YouTube thing. And I mean, like, black people are on YouTube. Like, we got a bunch of different content that we record, but I haven't seen many black car YouTubers. You know what I'm saying? And he look like me. Brother's brown skin. Brother got dreads. Brother cool. He come from, he lives with his grandmother. I love my grandmother. I live with my mom. She single mother. Shout out to my mom. My mom is an amazing person. He got his girl on his page. I hope one day I can bring my girl on the page and stuff. Like, dude is cool. So, like, but to see him was like an inspiration. Like, yo, I'm not gonna be the only brother doing this. And he from the hood. Like, I ain't really hood. I'm just a little ghetto. But I'm like, as I've said, it's Island AutoWorks. The reason why the page is called Island AutoWorks is because my family's from the islands. I'm from Barbados, and I live in the Bronx. Like, I'm from Uptown. And I'm not gonna say I don't live in the hood, but I don't live in like the hood. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, he just inspired me, like, just to see somebody that looked like me, like, brown skinned dude, black dude, dread-headed, tatted up. I got a couple of tats. I don't got nothing like crazy like how he does. It was just inspirational to see that there's somebody out here doing what I want to do. Like, I was already inspired by like TJ Hunt, because TJ Hunt was a young guy, Adam LZ, all these different people. But now to see somebody that looks like me is a whole new realm. Like, alright, you know what, brother, you can get up and you can start doing this, and you may not get like 1 million subscribers tomorrow. You're not gonna get 1 million views tomorrow, but you can start it up and build up, because everybody started somewhere. Like, every journey starts with a single step. Shout out to the Foot Clan if y'all know what that is. Like, y'all, if y'all know what that is, me and you can be friends. But yeah, like, shout out to, like I said, shout out to Mike, because like he was definitely an inspiration for this video. I hope one day I get to meet him up in Cali if I ever go out there. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm just happy. I'm legit happy. But down to the nitty gritty and what this video is really about. Once again, today's Wednesday, Island Night, and advice from my mechanics. So first things first, before we even get to dealer and flat rate, let's just talk about you wanting to be a mechanic. Some things that you need to know before deciding that you want to get into the automotive industry. And full disclaimer, this is my opinion. This is my opinion. A lot of it's going to sound like facts, and some of it probably is a fact when you ask, mechanics across the board. But a lot of this is just my opinion and my perspective. So don't butcher me or take this as the rule book on being a mechanic and being a mechanic in the dealer and being a flat rate mechanic. Like just think of this as just a little guide, a little heads up, a little warning, because there were a lot of things I didn't know when I decided to become a mechanic, and I've been suffering from in the last, I want to say, I'm 25 now. I've been working on cars since I was about 12. I started working at the dealership as an intern since about 14, 15, and now I'm 25 and I'm a full flat rate dealership certified technician. So that's more than 10 years. And I like I said, there's a lot of things I didn't know and I'm still suffering from now. So I want to warn the little homies and my friends who want to get into this lifestyle. And it's also this advice is not about car culture at all. It's not. It has nothing to do with the cars. It has to do with just mechanics and wanting to be a mechanic, right? So anyway, first things first, like the biggest thing I think you need to know if you want to be a mechanic. Let me just shut down this sunroof. I'm on the highway. First things first, if you want to be a mechanic, if you're interested in becoming a mechanic because, I guess you like cars, or there's like three kinds of people that become mechanics. Like either you like cars, you're trying to get into cars, or you just really need a job. And you see all these UTI commercials and Instagram and TikTok videos that talk about UTI and Lincoln Tech, Wyotech, all these different schools. They teach you how to be a mechanic. First thing you need to know, and this is my God's honest opinion, right? Please do not become a mechanic if you don't have an interest in cars. If you don't have a real interest, like an interest for cars and an interest in, I don't even know how to explain it. Like it's just cars, or unless you want to be like a boat mechanic, unless you have an interest in boats, airplane mechanic, unless you have an interest in airplanes, an interest in motorcycles, an interest in diesel trucks, whatever it is, do not become a mechanic if you are not actually interested. Because when you get to certain levels of mechanics, that's what's going to keep you at your job. All jokes aside, don't come around here and you don't like cars or you just wanted a job. Those are horrible reasons to become a mechanic. And I'm explaining why. Because once you get to the flat rate level, it's different. You have to have a passion for this to do this. Or even better, when you're having a suckish day, you're not going to want to work on a car. When you got customers and we trying to give the best quality of work to customers, you got to actually like what you do. Something I be proud of myself on, and I'm not sure, I said this in the motivational video, right? I work on the cars that I like. I love vehicles, bikes, cars, truck. I love cars. I love motorsports. But I have right behind that, I have a big love for performance cars, because that's what got me into the culture. That's what got me into want to be a mechanic. Shout out to my cousin Jason. Shout out to my mom. Shout out to Fast and Furious movies. I really wanted to have a fast car. Shout out to rally racing. Travis Pastrana, Ken Block, all the rally guys. I can't name any more off the top of my head right now. Shout out to Lewis Hamilton, with F1. I used to watch all these races, all these different motorsport races, Pikes Peak, stuff like that. But, shout out to my family, because they made me like cars, and then seeing the builders, the people behind the cars, not just the drivers in the car running, but the guys in the pit lanes, the guys at the pit crews, the guys building the cars. I'm like, yo, I don't just want to drive one of these cars. I actually want to put hands and work on one of these cars. And that keeps me to get up every morning early to drive however far I'm driving to go to work. That makes me want to go to work. And I like performance cars. So I work on a company, like I said, I work for Audi Volkswagen, and for a lot of y'all, Volkswagen probably isn't a performance company. and Audi's a luxury company. But let me tell y'all something. The Volkswagen Group, which is comprised of Volkswagen, Audi, Porsche, Lamborghini, Bugatti. I don't remember if we have Bentley. Like the Volkswagen Group and Ducati, like we're a pretty big group, and all those car companies I named have a foothold in motorsport. Like Audi was running the rally world for a minute. Porsche still has a whole bunch of records in 24 Hours of Le Mans. Like, we up there. Pikes Peak is, I think the fastest time on Pikes Peak right now is held by our Volkswagen ID Aero or ID something. It's an electric Volkswagen, but it's still flipping fast. Like we running things. Not running things, but we've been a part of things for a minute. We got a big race culture. But either which way, like, I like those cars. I also love BMW. Like I like BMWs. If you've known me for a while, you know I had a couple different BMWs. Like, I just like performance cars, and I really like German performance cars. So when I go to work, or anytime I'm looking for a job, or whatever the case may be, like, I try to keep things I try to stick to what I know and what I love, because on a day when my boss is pissing me off, because trust and believe, bosses will piss you off. Like, if no one has ever warned you that a boss will piss you off, as a mechanic, the boss is definitely going to piss you off. Your service advisor is going to piss you off. Customers are going to piss you off. The work is going to piss you off. You need to be able to say, you know what? At the end of the day, at least I work on what I like. Like, I've never worked for Honda. I've never worked for Toyota. I've never worked for Chevy. Never worked for Ford. I did a small stint at Chrysler and Dodge, like as an intern. I've worked for Subaru with them I had an actual job. But I've always worked at Volkswagen, Audi, Volkswagen, Audi. Like, 10 years of experience, a majority of that is, at least when it comes to the dealer, a majority of that is Volkswagen and Audi Group. And the rest is private shops that typically specialize in the Volkswagen and Audi Group, or in just German cars, period. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, like, you need that. Like, you need that love and that passion, because at the end of the day, that's what's gonna kind of save you from walking off the job, being miserable, being fed up. Like I said, I don't work on cars I don't like, and it's been my saving grace. Like, I get upset, and then an RS3 drives in. I'm like, oh snap, that's an RS3. I was upset that this car, especially with like Volkswagens, where a lot of stuff got to come off to get to certain things, or at least the older Volkswagen, like, oh, you know what, this TDI is pissing me off, and I don't know how to really work on this. But guess what? RS3 came in. If I keep pushing and I keep studying and I keep working hard, either I'm gonna own that RS3, or I'm gonna get the chance to work on this RS3. Then you got bolts that just don't want to come out, and you fighting with, or you're dealing with bullcrap warranty claims. And then guess what? You see a RS6 Avant, you know, like, ooh. At least I am. I don't know about y'all, but I get excited about that stuff. Like, that stuff's dope. And that's what reels me back in from, like, cursing and walking off the job and telling them I'm fed up, or even changing careers, like, because it ain't easy. Which, once again, you have to have a passion for this, because it is your saving grace. Number 2, quick, fast, and in a hurry. Tools. Mechanics are one of the only independent contractors that I've known of that has to provide their own tools. And tools are not cheap, and it never ends. You will be buying tools to the end of your days. Like, I don't care what you tell me. You could be 30 years in this industry. You will never have enough tools. You will be buying the same tool over and over. I just saw one of my old coworkers. I don't think he even recognized it as my car. But yeah, you're going to be buying tools for the rest of your life. You're going to buy the same tool probably 40 times within your career. And it's not cheap. So for all you guys thinking like, oh yeah, I'm going to get into mechanics and I'm going to make a whole lot of money. A lot of money you make is going into tools. Like, it's a lot of investing. That's what I really should have said. It shouldn't just be tools. It should be, oh, you know what? That'll be number 3. But number 2 is tools. Like, buy tools. Do not be scared of tools. Do not be scared of having to buy tools, because it's gonna happen. For my newbie mechanics, let me tell you something. Harbor Freight is probably your best friend. AutoZone, Home Depot, where you can get your ratchets and your socket sets. And trust me, you might want to buy a set of sockets, not just 1 or 2 sockets, or whatever those starter kits are, those beginner kits. Buy them, because it's gonna help you out in the long run. Now, if you're already in school, if you're at a mechanic school or a trade school or whatever, Snap-on is your friend because, or Snap-on, Matco, Mac Tools, all those different companies, those are your friends because they offer student deals, or they offer reduced pricing because you're in school, and that's a big help too. But yeah, you're gonna spend money in tools. Like I have enough money in tools, and I'm a young guy in the industry. Like, I've been doing this for a while, but I'm still like a young guy in the industry, and I still haven't bought all the tools I need. But I have enough tools between my 3 toolboxes, which I'll show you guys when I get to work. Yeah, I'm gonna have to make this vlog like in 2 parts or 3 parts, however I break it down. But like, yeah, like between my toolbox, tools I keep in my car, and tools I keep at just in various places, like, I've spent enough money in tools that my GLI should be paid off, and I should probably own an M340 or an S3. Like, yeah, I could buy all the money I spent in tools. I could probably even put a down payment on the house. Which, looking back at it, like, for a lot of you, that's gonna sound stupid. Like, damn, you spent that much money, like, you could have bought a house, or not bought a house, but put a down payment on a house. But it's about, number 3, investing. As a mechanic, you have to invest in your craft. You have to be willing to invest in this craft. It's like any other passion in the world. You have to invest in it. If you're not investing in it, it doesn't make sense to be doing it. Like, you're wasting everybody's time. Everybody's time. Invest. Whether that's investing in learning, investing in tools, investing in getting around, which, once again, I think that involves a passion. And if you're going to invest in something, you're going to have a passion for it. Because when you got to spend all this money, you're going to want to know why you're spending all this money, thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of dollars, and you don't even like what you're doing. It doesn't add up. It doesn't. So, you know, like I said, 1, having a passion. 2, getting tools, buying tools, not being scared to buy tools. 3, investing. Number 4 is patience. If you want to be a mechanic, understand that you need a new level of patience. You need a new level of patience. Customers, managers, service advisors, other mechanics, salesmen, just people in general are going to test you at every given opportunity because they want to know if you're about it. And if you're going to stand firm to your beliefs, if you're going to do what you believe, you're going to do what you're supposed to, or you're going to break. Sometimes they don't even care. And you have to have the patience. You got to hit your ooh-sahs and your oohs and your ahs and your and your meditation and your what they got, those little balls that people just spin around, those medicine balls. Like, you need all kinds of different things to just relax, bro. And it's gonna require patience. If you're a Christian person or if you're a religious person, you know, it's gonna require, you know, calling on Jesus. If you Muslim, calling on Allah. If you some other religious affiliation that I don't know about, calling to your deity, because things get really annoying and really frustrating. And once again, I'm gonna keep going back to it. Your passion. If you have a passion for these things, it'll be easy to calm yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need all of that. You need all of it. 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 Number 5. I don't know what number 5 would be. I think it's gonna be more so. Number 5 is really just gonna be learning and being willing to learn that, 1, you don't know everything. You're always going to be learning because the industry itself is changing. How you look at the industry, how you decide to further your career in the industry. Another alarm. Like, yo, I got too many alarms. But yeah, like, all of that requires a willingness to learn. Like, what I know now is not what I knew. I mean, obviously, when you first get into it, you're like really anxious to learn. But after like a year, 2-3 years in, you're like, oh, I know a good amount. 4 years, 5 years in, oh, I know enough that I could probably do stuff without any help. 6, 7, 8 years in, and you think you don't want nobody talking to you, but you'll learn real quick that every mechanic's experience is different, and there's so much that you can learn from their experience. There's so much more. Like, there's just so much you can learn. Like, once again, I'm a Volkswagen Audi tech, and I learn stuff from BMW techs all the time. I'm a Volkswagen and Audi tech. I learn a lot from diesel technicians. I learn from old head mechanics. I learn from guys that don't even work on cars, that work on like diesel trucks. I learn from guys that work on like boats and stuff. Like, you learn from a whole bunch of different guys that sometimes you learn from customers that don't even, they're retired mechanics in sense of they just quit, or they were like, I'm tired of this. But you learn so much, and it's all stuff that you can add to your toolbox, and not just like your physical toolbox, but like your mental toolbox. And it's crazy. And you need to have that willingness to learn, because it just makes you so much better. Like, and it's gonna help you with whatever part of this career that you have. So, like I said, number one, for the first part was just, general advice for mechanics, right? And newbie mechanics, which is 1, having a passion, 2, buying tools, 3, investing, 4, being patient, 5, being willing to learn. Like, those are the 5 most important things I think you should know about being a mechanic, or deciding to become a mechanic. Now, for my dealer techs, let's get into it. Dealer technicians, and it's gonna go hand in hand with just being a mechanic. Dealer technicians, pick a brand that you like. That's number 1. Pick a brand that you like. I'm tired of technicians that do not like the brand that they work on. Like, you're doing a disservice to all of us. You're doing a disservice to yourself, which goes back to 1, having a passion. Because if you don't like the brand that you're at, you're not going to invest. You're not going to do anything that was a part of, just becoming a mechanic. And I mean, there are different reasons. And as an adult now, as a responsible adult, I understand how things can go on. But please, like, try your hardest to pick a dealer that you like. Pick a brand that you like. Because nobody wants to hear how, oh, Honda was easier than BMW, and Toyota is so simple compared to Audi, and oh my God, Fords and Chevys are so easy compared to working on Mercedes. Like, bro, you chose to be here. You chose to be here. It wasn't easy to get here. You got in, suck it up, and if you don't like it, go back to where you came from. Like, straight up. On the flip side of that, my mechanics that are accustomed to luxury cars, don't go over to lower brands and start complaining about how cheap things are, how simple they are, and I'm kind of shooting myself in the foot, how cheap they are, how simple they are, and how it just doesn't make sense to you, because your brain is wired to understand complicated, stupid fucking equations, forgive the cursing, that, our high-end German and luxury cars come up with. Like, it's crazy. Don't complain. Pick a brand that you like. That's number 1. Number 2, I don't know if you have a service advisor or a dispatcher, but whoever is giving you your work, understand that they are not your friend, and that sometimes it's going to seem like they're your friend, other times it's not, because their goal is either to make money for themselves or to just get the work in and out. And they don't like you, or they're not always going to like you, and they only care about themselves. Service advisors do not go through the same things that we go through, and based on what I've learned and known, not all service advisors are paid the same. Some service advisors are really just hourly guys. Some service advisors are working off a commission. Some service advisors are salary. They don't have to work for their money. So they don't care if they didn't sell the job properly, because they're going to get paid regardless. Which brings me to 3. which actually kind of goes over to being a flat rate technician. But guys that are going to the dealership know that you will eventually become a flat rate technician, which means you will not always be hourly, which means you're only getting paid for the work that you do. I will explain that in the flat rate part, but just know that your work and how quickly you do your work, how well you do your work is very important. And just keep that in mind. That's number 3, working. You have to actually work. So 1, pick a brand you like. 2, you're really in it for yourself. You know, there's no real friends at work. They're co-workers. Everyone wants to make money. 3, you're gonna have to work. Number 4, this actually goes back to the original group, which is being a mechanic. Learning. You're gonna learn a lot at the dealer, because at the dealership you're seeing things on the front end. As well as seeing things at the front end, you're also required to learn at the dealer. Like, you have to go through the levels, the skills, and the certifications to get better at your dealer. So you have to be willing to learn to get better. Like, where I'm at now as a VW technician is not where I was when I first started working on VWs. Like, now I'm certified. Like, I'm Volkswagen registered. Wherever I go, like, not only is Volkswagen on my resume, they can literally pull up and see that I'm a certified, registered Volkswagen tech, and that I've been doing this for 5 years. Like, Volkswagen, I actually have an award. If I don't want to find it and put it up here because people are weird, but I have an award that says that I am a 5-year veteran with the Volkswagen Group. I'm actually very proud of that. Not only that, I have a specialty in transmissions. I don't know how I got it. Well, I know how I got it. I went to class and I took a class and I sat there, I studied, and I passed. But I say I don't know how I got it because I never thought I would have gotten specialized in transmissions, because I've never built a transmission. I've taken them apart, I put them back together because of class, but mostly I just have replaced them. You know, I've replaced a bunch of them. But now, I've also done, swaps on cars. But now, I'm actually, according to Volkswagen, I'm a specialist, which is nice. It feels good. Next up, I'm hoping to get, I'm not ready for EV, but I do want to get electrical, which means I'll be a specialist in electricity and just understanding how the electronic components in the cars work. And I'm really looking forward to engine specialty. But you got to be willing to learn, because it gets really good. And the things that interest me now, I still have a lot of interest from the stuff that first got me into cars, but I have new interest too now as well. Like, I'm really interested in things that I never thought I would have had an interest in before. So that's really dope. Like I said, that's learning. I don't know what 5 would be, and not all of these are going to be five subcategories or 5 bulletins or whatever they want to call it. Like, it's just a matter of getting out what I think is important. So that's what it takes to be a dealer mechanic. Now, here is the most important one, as far as I'm concerned, when we talk about just being a mechanic and being a dealer mechanic. Being a flat rate technician, and this is going to quote everything from 1 and 2. Number 1, just so that you know, flat rate technicians only get paid for the work that they produce. I'm a flat rate tech. I am now a flat rate tech. I've been a flat rate tech on and off for the last year, but especially now, I am a full-fledged flat rate tech. It sucks. I don't care what no one says. Being a flat rate technician sucks. And I'm gonna tell you why it sucks. For all you hard-earning, been doing flat rate 30 years, and for some reason have been getting gravy jobs since the day you became flat rate. Flat rate is good because what happens is, instead of you going to work for 8 hours and only being able to make 8 hours as an hourly technician, flat rate gives you the chance to make more hours in an 8-hour period. So what I mean by that is, normally most people get paid hourly. That's what people understand. I clock in at 8 o'clock, I leave at 5 o'clock, I'm getting paid from the hours of 8 to 5. But usually that only means that you're getting paid for 8 hours of work. When you're flat rate, you're making money based off of the amount of work you produce. It's almost like commission. So you can actually produce more than 8 hours in a single day, in case nobody told you. I'm not going to explain how that works because it's too time consuming. I don't want a 3-hour long video. I just want to, I want a good video for you guys that I'm going to have to break down anyway. So there's going to be part 1 and part 2. But you get paid off of the work that you produce. And if you're at the dealer, sometimes the work that you produce takes a whole lot of time and warranty doesn't want to pay. or your service advisor didn't sell the job right, or because you have a passion and you want to make sure that the customer gets the best quality of work out of you, you might work more than what you're actually producing, and you're not going to get paid for it. So understand that you're only getting paid for what you produce, and that all of you hourly guys will have to become flat rate eventually, because I did. And it sucks, but because I have a passion, it benefits me. Because I have patience, I can go through with it. And because I'm invested, it's kind of softens the blow. But that is number one. Flat rate technicians. It sucks. Be prepared for it. Number two is going back to investing and buying tools. So that's 2 bullet points from number one, from just becoming a mechanic. The more you invest, the more you learn, the more tools that you buy, it actually makes the job easier, so that when you do only get paid for the work that you produce, it's like, okay, this makes sense now. Like, I buy tools that make my jobs go faster, so that I don't spend a job that can pay me an hour, I can do in 45 minutes, 30 minutes, 20 minutes. Like, I'll give you a big one. One of the things that I buy that a lot of people don't like, or that I bought recently in the last year that I like, is I have a tool now that actually sucks out the oil out of your car. I don't recommend this for all the brands. I don't recommend this on all cars. Let me say that. I'm only recommending this tool to people that your car or the cars that you work on have, number one, an oil filter up top of the engine, and number two, have a dipstick tube or a vent tube for you to suck out oil. Because if you don't have those 2 or 3 things, it doesn't make sense, because you're still gonna have to lift up the car anyway. But yeah, like, I bought that. I don't know what the proper term, what the proper name of it is, but it's an oil sucker, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, all you Jamaicans and homophobic people are gonna make fun of me in the comments, talk about, oh, he said sucker. But that's what it does. It sucks out the oil from the car. And what that does for me now is it takes an oil change that really and truly, an oil change, when you're at the dealership and when you're at a mom and pop shop, it's completely different. But an oil change pays half an hour. Sometimes it takes an hour. But what it does is it limits the time, because now you don't necessarily have to set up the car to go up in the air, and you don't have to take off belly pans and all this other stuff. Like, you can literally just, once the car is warmed up, you can just start beginning to drain the oil out, or suck the oil out through the tool. And the tool literally takes 5 minutes to suck out. For me and the cars that I work on that have roughly anywhere between 4.5 to about 7 quarts, those are the majority of the cars that I work on as a Volkswagen and Audi tech, it takes 5 minutes to drain out a full 7 quarts. 4.5 to 7 quarts of oil. 5 minutes, maybe 10. That also gives me a chance to walk away, get my parts. If I do need to set up the car because I have other jobs to do, or I have to do a multi-point inspection, I can set up the car while the oil is draining. So I don't have to set up the car and let the oil drain. I'm already, taking the oil out of the car while setting up the car. That's time savings, and that's important. Time saving and time management is important as a flat rate technician. So like, it's great. Buying electric. I mean, all of us as mechanics should know that, but if you've never known that you need a bunch of electric tools, which are cordless tools, like, instead of sitting there for 10-20 minutes ratcheting away or using a screwdriver, like, buy the electrics, because they save you that 5 minutes you spent cranking away at a ratchet or a screwdriver versus just shooting it off with an electric screwdriver, an impact gun. So much simpler. Invest in your tools, bro. Like, buy them. Spend money on them. Knowledge. Once again, going back to all the stuff that we've heard before and learning, the more you know about the job, the easier the job becomes. Once you have knowledge, like, the first time you do a job, let's say you do an engine job, or let's say you do a transmission job, or let's say you do whatever job you're doing, and when you don't know, so it's going to take you a little extra time. That's fine. But once you've learned the job, once you've gotten accustomed to doing the job, you can do it in a lot faster time period. Like, I remembered, like, a long time ago, dropping a transmission was a scary thing to me. Like, I wanted to do it, but I had no clue how to do it. I didn't know how much time it would take. I didn't know what tools I needed. I didn't know the local You know, as mechanics, we have little shortcuts, little neat tricks that we know to do the jobs more effectively and quicker. I didn't know none of that stuff. None of it. I didn't know none of it. But I learned it. And guess what? I remember my first E46 by myself, just learning. I'm not going to hide it. It took me about 5 hours to do the trans. 5 hours. Let me explain something to you now. If you come to me with an E36 or E46, I'm gonna lie to you about what I'm charging you and how long it's gonna take me to do the job. And it's not even a matter of lying. I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna quote you based off of what the job is supposed to take to do, which is 5 hours. I'm gonna quote you a 5-hour job. But I am doing your transmission in 2 hours. And when I say doing your transmission, I mean I'm doing and this only applies to rear wheel drive E36 and E46s. I'm gonna do it within roughly an hour or 2 hours. And I'm gonna charge you for 5 hours. And I'm gonna charge you for 5 hours because it took me 2 to 3 years and multiple clutch jobs. Woo! Almost dropped the camera. Multiple clutch jobs, multiple annoying customers, multiple broken bolts, and fighting to learn how to do that job within an hour to 2 hours. It took me years. And you're gonna pay for that. Because what essentially what's going to happen is, even though it sounds like I'm robbing you because, oh, it only took you 2 hours, so you should only charge me 2 hours. I charge you 2 hours of quality work versus the guy that doesn't know how to do it, that's going to have your car for 3 days because he tried to rush and messed it up. And now you're without a car, so now you have to pay gas, you got to pay Ubers, all this other extra stuff, when you could have came to me and let me do it and overcharge you for the 2 hours. And you'll never see me again until your clutch goes out again, or unless you have another problem with your car. That's what I'm charging you for, because it's quality and experience over your cheap pockets customers. Now for my mechanics, once again, let's talk about this. Learn so that you can do what I'm about to do to whatever these customers are. Learn so that you can make your money faster. You understand what I'm saying? So, flat rate technicians, that's all I really have to say to you. Like, there's nothing more you need to know. You just need to know that you got to buy tools, that you're going to get all the things before this, all the categories and advice I gave you before. That's all you need to know. That's all you need to know. Nothing else is relevant. So let's just go through this advice again. From people that just want to become mechanics. Have a passion, buy tools, be willing to invest, be patient, and be willing to learn. Those are the 5 things for just becoming a mechanic. 4 things for being a dealer mechanic. Pick a brand that you like. Understand that, number 2, understand that you are working for yourself. Or, sorry, it was that understand that you're by yourself. You know, like, you don't got no friends at work. Number 3, I don't even remember what some of the stuff was. I'm sure you guys can rewind this and hear what it was. But y'all heard the advice. And it's not the end all advice. Like, it's my personal perspective is what I mean to say. Like, this is what I've learned. This is through my experience, and this is what I think is good advice for anyone that wants to, 1, become a mechanic, 2, become a dealer mechanic. Got the sun all in your face. 2, become a dealer mechanic, and 3, become a flat rate technician. Because it's not even if you're going to become a flat rate technician. You're going to become a flat rate technician. If you work at the dealer, you're going to become a flat rate technician eventually. And you just need to know. I think that you should know these things.